I call the next part of the Dinner Special podcast the pressure cooker.
All
I'm going
right.
to ask you 7 fast and fun questions that we want to know your answers to.
Okay.
Are you up for it?
I'm ready.
Okay. Number 1. Which food shows or cooking shows do you watch?
Um, I watch Cutthroat Kitchen because my husband's a big fan.
Cool.
I watch Top Chef because I find it fascinating, and it's a really good representation of what's sort of in the in the chefy world at the moment. And I watch whatever I don't know, whatever other little things drift my way. I really like the online video that the Breville, like small appliance company puts out. They have a really nice YouTube page.
Yeah, I've seen that. They chat with chefs about sort of
Mhm.
making their specialty dishes and things like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Number 2. What are some food blogs or websites we have to know about?
Well, food blogs. I love my little community of food preservation blogs, like Punk Domestics, and the Sean Timberlake, who writes that blog, is also now the blogger for about.com as far for food preservation. He's been doing an amazing job there. Well Preserved, which is a Canadian food blog. My friend Kate Payne writes Hip Girl's Guide to Homemaking, which is a really good one. And I have a friend who writes a blog called What I Weigh Today. And it's really interesting because it's the intersection of someone who's a food writer, a food editor, loves food, and is also trying to find ways to eat healthfully and work her way through sort of dealing with weight in a culture where, we put a lot of focus on both food and body image and finding how to make that all work together.
Right. Oh wow, that's a good list. I've not heard of them, but I'm definitely going to check them out.
Great.
Number 3. Who do you follow on Pinterest, Instagram, or Twitter that make you happy?
Oh my gosh. I'm definitely an Instagram addict. Um, I I follow a lot of people. It's hard to even articulate. Um, my friend Alexis Siemens, she has a website called Teaspoon and Petals, and her Instagram handle is, I think, something like Tea and Petals or something like that. And she's a tea writer and takes the most beautiful pictures of teacups and desserts and things like that. Um, I also really love, let's see, I'm now flipping through my Instagram feed. I, don't- you know, it's hard to say because Instagram, it's one of those things where it's so ethereal and, you just kind of take things as they come.
Right.
Um, yeah, I don't even know how to answer that question, to
No,
be
no,
honest.
no worries. Well, we'll go to your Instagram and we'll check out who you're following.
Yeah,
Yeah.
please.
Okay. Number 4. What is something all home cooks should have in their pantry?
All home cooks should have salt in their pantry. You never want to run out of salt because it's going to give everything flavor. Vinegar is also useful. Anytime you make something and it tastes flat, if you add a little apple cider vinegar or balsamic vinegar, it's going to brighten it up. So salt and vinegar, and it's hard to go wrong.
Awesome. Number 5. Name one ingredient you cannot live without.
I cannot live without garlic. I always have some. I use it every day, and my favorite way to add it to a dish is to grate it on a microplane rasp because you get tiny little bits. You don't have to chop it, and you get a lot of flavor. And one of the tricks I learned recently was that if you want to brighten up a pot of soup, instead of adding your garlic at the beginning of cooking, add a little fresh garlic at the end, and it's going to just make it taste more alive.
Oh, no, that makes sense. I've never tried that before, but because it's so powerful when it's raw, and when
Yeah,
you put it in the cooked soup, it must sort of integrate really well.
yeah, it's really delicious.
Number 6. What are a few cookbooks that make your life better? There's a lot of cookbooks behind you.
There are a lot of cookbooks. Oh gosh, make my life better. Um, well, as far as just needing the basics, I still always turn to the joy of cooking. Anytime I need to make, biscuits or just need a basic recipe for something like that, that's my go-to. And I like the 1960s edition the best because that's the one I grew up with. The So Easy to Preserve cookbook, that's the one I mentioned earlier from the National Center for Home Food Preservation. That's a great one for when I just need to understand how a recipe should work. I turn to that. And there's a book I love called Whole Grains for a New Generation by Liana Krisoff. And it's one that I always find something new in it.
Great, great. Well, number 7, the final question. What song or album just makes you want to cook?
What makes there is an album called Recuperation by Al Cooper, who is a sort of blues and jazz organ player
Okay.
that I love to
Yeah.
cook to.
Okay, so definitely have to check that one out. Congratulations, Marisa. You have officially survived the pressure cooker.